Hello, and welcome to another one of these things. These are the Venture Electronics Monk Plus earbuds. You might know them as the illustrious and fabled $5 best sounding, best bang for your buck earbuds. Well, if you're at all familiar with my channel based on the one other review I've done, uh, and how I like to do these, I like to just get it out of the way, the recommendation part, and then get into why later. So if you don't want to sit through 5 to 10 minutes plus, like I usually don't, only to hear about the one fatal flaw or how the price ruins the deal, but you've already sat through all the positives and negatives or whatever, I'm gonna just give it to you now. I give them a soft recommendation. So that's far from all the hype and praise you'll probably see about these. uh, I wouldn't say it's like a really negative review or anything, but it's definitely not the best ever sounding. I could maybe see good bang for your buck. They're definitely affordable, and they do sound pretty good. So it's a soft recommendation for me. I'll get into really why that is. I don't think these are for everybody. So if you were basically already sold and you're just looking for one more recommendation, go for them as long as you know what you're getting into. If you're just here from hype and you're trying to figure out what the hype's about, I would stick around, but you don't got to. I ain't gonna force you to. But I'm not gonna give them like a blanket endorsement. I do think these are very use case related and situational as well as subjective. So before I really get into the review, I'd just like to mention that there are some links below if you are interested in them. I would just go wherever's cheapest, but I've included Amazon, Veclin, which I believe is Venture Electronics site, at least according to their packaging, and Drop, formerly Mash Drop. I found they were cheapest on Drop, however, they're not always available there. So they were like $8.53 for me, I think, after shipping, and they were going to be $8.90 with free shipping on Amazon, and I think 5 plus whatever to make them $8.90 on Veclin or Venture Electronics site. So as far as I'm concerned, they're really more like $8 earbuds. I don't think that kills the deal, but I'm just letting you know they're not 5 flat. I couldn't find them that anywhere, not on their AliExpress or I think they had a Banggood link. I don't think it worked on their site though. I couldn't find them for $5 anywhere. Um, the only difference I think between the Mash Drop or now Drop buds are they're supposed to be midnight blue, so that's what I have here. The rest are supposed to be smoke. I think otherwise specs are all the same. As well, I did include my Mash Drop referral link, so if you buy after being signed up by me, I get $10 after your purchase is, I guess, shipped and completed, and that's $10 to spend on their site. Uh, you get $10 off a purchase of 50 or more. That's not really that good for these, but maybe you can find something. It's just the only way I can give back, other than, right, like I could just do straight affiliate links and not tell you, and obviously you could assume I'm doing it, but that's the only way I can sort of give back, right? Like some sort of discount. I know it's not on these, but it's something. Um, Obviously, any money will probably just go to a new product to review. But anyway, let's talk about the recommendation. So, why is it a soft recommendation? Well, why is it a recommendation at all? They sound pretty good, pretty great even. They're not too bassy. I typically don't like that. I feel like it's basically a distortion. They don't really have any distortion. They're not, tinny. I don't think they're too quiet. There's no static or interference. The best way I could really describe them is they're just clear. They're full and clear and good. They sound good. I want to say they sound true to life, but I guess I don't really know what a lot of the things I listen to really actually sound like. They're just very clear. That's why I'm going with that. So it doesn't sound like you're listening to someone over the phone, for example. Like old school, it changed the pitch of their voice. I would call that distortion, right? That's my point. That they sound very clear. I've had bad buds that just sound off. They sound flat or something. So the sound is pretty good. They're relatively good build quality, I would say, for the price. They're plastic and rubber as far as I can tell, but the plastic doesn't feel like it's going to be crushed by my fingertips if I give them some pressure. Maybe stepping on them would destroy them. I imagine that goes for most buds, though. They're not aluminum or anything like that, I guess, but they feel alright. The rubber cable's pretty nice. They're probably the best quality ones I've felt, even under like 30. It feels pretty decent quality. And to top it all off, they're under $10. So you might have noticed me playing with those little foamier tips. That's the only thing you've seen, probably, right? That's negative. That they're clearly torn up. I've gone through one blue one. This red and blue are on their last legs. One of the blue ones didn't even come with it cut out, so they're not that great a quality. They fall apart super easily, and they come off occasionally when I take them out of my ears. So that looks to be the worst bits, right? Well, not quite. So if that was the only problem, I would be praising these like the sun, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, through virtue of being earbuds and me having small ears, I'm willing to admit that. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but they don't fit very well. And I imagine this is actually the case for quite a few people. However, I think people might understand this, and it's the ones who don't who give them the occasional they don't fit reviews or they just have meh sound reviews. So it's not just the fit, but as a result of the fit, the sound is affected. So that great sound I was talking about kind of gets taken down a notch to maybe good because there's a noise leak effect. So you can definitely hear things outside. They're not immersive at all. They're not, isolated. There's no natural isolation. There's no seal up against your ear canal. The only way to get that seal is to like push them against your ear canal, where they sound really great. But obviously, that's not a reasonable use case scenario. And I imagine the occasional meh and terrible fit, thingies littered throughout all that praise maybe didn't realize that the reason why is their earbuds. They don't fit me right. They probably won't fit you right. And as a result, there's that leak. So you might have realized I'm voicing over this. I tried to do it in one take. However, I could hear a lot of background noise, mainly my computer's dual 140 millimeter fans at the top. You can hear the whirring of the fans, the air being pushed, and I couldn't hear that when reviewing the footage while wearing my Monk Plus without turning the sound way up. So that's what you lose. You lose lows, like the ambient noise in movies and videos, footsteps in games. And that's because there's that noise leak effect, because there's not a tight seal like an IEM would give you, or, the immersion of over ears. You lose some of the sound quality by virtue of being what they are. And that sucks for an aficionado, right? Like you're trying to get the best sound possible, but it's just not possible at this price range. They had to make a sacrifice, in my opinion, that was making them into earbuds because they do have a great sound when you push them against your ears, but that's just not reasonable to expect. Um, so as a result of not fitting right, being earbuds, not making that seal, they lose a little bit of their sound quality. They're not really comfortable. They're not super uncomfortable. They started out that way, but I did get used to them. So they're just all right in that respect. I would say they come out on top being so cheap as being good, but they're definitely not like the audiophile Dream headphones or something like that. They're not going to replace something high end, but they are good beaters. So that's the use case scenario I see them for them. If you want to take advantage of that lack of noise isolation, so you take them on your bus or something to listen, listen to, but also hear like your bus stop, or you take them to work to listen to a podcast where it's going to give you that clear voice, and you don't want to have to take them off every 2 seconds, or even care if you take them off or something, because they're kind of loose of a fit, so it's not going to be difficult. So you can hear your boss or your coworker, and you don't give them the old "huh, what was that" kind of deal, sassily taking them out of your ears. Or you want to be able to listen for your kids screaming and killing each other in the background or something, or your spouse getting ready to kill you for listening to too much shit, and you can hear the outside world. There's no isolation. There's no real immersion. Uh, they just have a good, clear sound. You want that generally, and you don't mind missing out on the immersion. And you don't mind that your kids are gonna turn them into a flail because they're $9, or your dog's gonna chew them into oblivion, or something along those lines. So that's the use case I see. They're not that comfortable, but they sound pretty decent for the price. Just don't expect immersion or something like that. They are what they are. So if you're willing to accept that, I think I'll be satisfied. I've said that like 30 times, so that's it. That's my opinion. If you don't agree, let me know why. Maybe you have them. Maybe you think I'm using them wrong. Maybe you think the amp will be the difference. I don't see most users paying, $10 for earbuds and using an amp. I do understand that these would probably be best with an amp, but whatever. Feel free to comment below with your opinion, suggestions, questions, all that stuff. Thanks for watching. I hope I was able to help you, and until the next one, bye.